He first took initiation way back when from Srila Gurudeva Goswami Maharaj and served him and served in Bhuvaneshwar temple. Even before that, he was associating with devotees, I think running temple in Boston. And then he met Srila Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I'm not sure when, but so it took a lot of association from him. And then latterly, personally served Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharti Goswami Maharaj and took sannyas from him. Sripad Bhaktivedanta Tapasvi Maharaj, and Maharaj will be speaking on the same subject as Sriman Brajanath Prabhu, which is Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj.
Om Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulamitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. I offer my Satsang pranams to my beloved masters, Nityalila Pravishta Shila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, to Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, to Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhaktivedanta Bharti Goswami Maharaj, and to Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj, to Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, to all our Guru Varga, to all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Dandavat Pranams. So today had the fortune of doing a little parikram, going to Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj's Samadhi on the edge of the Ganga. Gurudev said that this was the nature of Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj. He also liked to be alone. At the same time, we're going to hear, and we've been hearing, about how they work together. So these are that thought came to me there. It's, yes, that was his nature, as Gurudev was saying, like to be, you know, a bit of a hermit, let's say, in seclusion, not deal with so many, you know, issues with other people's things. At the same time, he was a core person, Vaishnav, in the team that really was like there's different waves of Krishna consciousness we hear. After Mahaprabhu came, then Srinivasacharya, he picked up Krishna consciousness as it lulled a little bit after some of the immediate associates of Mahaprabhu left. And then we know that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also again picked up the mood and spread that in the sort of desert-like world or India at that time. And then, of course, we have His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and certainly other Vaishnavas, but in our line, in our heart, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj showed a very special side. As we're hearing, so many different Vaishnavas show their different sides, but here we're seeing three of them working together, which is quite illuminating, I find, because in many times we see Vaishnavas as single acharyas and propagating Krishna consciousness. And it is rare, and certainly for 65 years, to see three acharyas in their own right could easily have had their own mutts, but work together, almost seemingly effortlessly. And there are so many aspects to this, and just to give a little history, as some of the devotees have already done, is that Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj came to the mutt when he was 9 years old. He, of course, came when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was present. And he was given so much affection by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. And naturally, when Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj started his own mutt, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj was with him. And we know that Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj was ready to do anything and everything for his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj. Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj came, Gurudev said, when he was around 22 years old. And Gurudev explains that for Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, that Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, would give him any kind of seva and know that he knew that he would do that seva. However, time of day, whatever the situation, he was completely sold out. And Srila Trivikram Maharaj, Gurudev would say that he would be given the most responsible tasks. Anything that was had great responsibility was given to Srila Trivikram Maharaj, because he was also older. And he was in charge of preaching, collecting donations. And we've been hearing about this from the other Vaishnavas. And Gurudev, he came, I mean, I was looking at it, trying to calculate, it must have been around, I think, when Gurudev was 26 years old, because he came to the mutt, I think it was 47, he was born in 1921. So Gurudev was 1 year older than Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. So again, all three of them received sannyas in 1954 by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj. So there's this sort of beautiful synchronicity that's going on naturally between them already. And when I reflect over their lives, I consider, like Srila Bharati Maharaj would give the example of the compass. He said, if the compass is in one point, it can draw as many circles as it wants. But because that point is in the center, all the circles won't cross over. They won't clash with each other. But as soon as you move the point of the compass to another place, then all the circles will cross each other. So this, as we know, is actually Gurudev. When I did a little research into Gurudev's, when he was saying, why did we work together so well? He gave different reasons. He said, one, the main reason is that we always thought how to please Mahaprabhu. That was the first reason Gurudev gave. Like the compass, that the point is always in the center. Secondly, he said that there was no politics between us. And thirdly, he said that we were not selfish. And then he expanded this in a different place. And he said, we were equal to all. we were kind to all, we preached, and then he said, we weren't selfish, and we were broad-minded. So those are qualities I think that Gurudev was trying to imbibe in all of us. And interestingly, through my research, I found that actually Gurudev wanted, well, not surprisingly, obviously, wanted the devotees to be trained to be able to associate together. So I'm going to see if I can find this. This is just a couple of minutes. This is Gurudev speaking. It'll take maybe 2 minutes. What is the meaning of preaching? Its purpose is only to develop a very good society everywhere, so that everyone can be happy forever. So that's the first point. The point of preaching is to develop a good society. So this is connected to the 3 pillars, Gurudev's teaching, how we can work together. And how is it important? How important is it that we work together? It's this important that he's saying it's the meaning of preaching. Means that if you preach and you're not working together and your disciples are not working together, then we could say in one sense the preaching hasn't really been fulfilled. Then he says, I request, this is Gurudev, this is in Badger, by the way, speaking. I request that a school be established specifically to teach spiritual association on the basis of developing love and affection for each other. I'll read that again in case anybody's spaced out. I request that a school be established specifically to teach spiritual association on the basis of developing love and affection for each other. Then he goes into detail. In other words, it's important. So he's going into detail now. Meetings and classes may be held fortnightly, weekly, or on the occasion of any festival. Sometimes one devotee can give class, sometimes another, and everyone will benefit. There should be harmony. This is most essential. You will be successful through this harmony. And while we're on the topic, I thought I would just touch on His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in the Nectar of Instruction. He says, this is in verse 4, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. The life of the Krishna Conscious Society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchanges among the members. So I think that when I remember these 3 Vaishnavas and their glories, of course, Gurudev's specific glories are vast, and certainly his Tattva Siddhanta and his teaching of the Rupanuga line is in golden letters. At the same time, I think there is a subtle teaching, like Gurudev was asked, I think it was by Srila Bhaktivedanta Nimi Maharaj, what is, oh gosh, what is something about who is a leader? How do we know how to lead? And let me see if I can find it. I think I wrote it down. But Gurudev replied, yes, you can learn from my example, by my life, by my behavior. So this is, although he was the, let's say, the junior one amongst the 3 pillars, and we could always understand Gurudev's mood was that he felt so much affection for Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, because at the very beginning, he helped him. Gurudev said, I always felt a very special affection for Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj, because whenever I did anything wrong, Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj would always back me up. He would have my back, so to speak, as we say in colloquial English. And so he felt that Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj was always with him in all circumstances. And when he was growing, and he taught him how to preach, how to do so many things. So how do we cooperate? How do we do it? Well, the essential principle in cooperation, or let's say we can call this offering to create a society. I think that's what Gurudev really wanted us to do. Because as I was hearing from Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, from Gurudev, what are they saying? Listen, you've got to create a society. If you don't create a society, this is just going to fall through the holes. Of course, some people are going to catch it and some people are going to get lifted up. But actually, we want to be broad-minded. We want many to be lifted up. So to create the society, and yes, we all know the struggles and the challenges of that. So how is a society created? How do people work together? And that's ultimately through trust. That is the foundational block of all of this, trust. And that's what we saw with Gurudev and Srila Vaman Maharaj and Srila Trivikram Maharaj. They understood that each of them, I'm talking on a simple level here, was completely sold out to their Gurudev. So therefore they could trust them. And what is our lesson is that we may say that I'm sold out to Gurudev, but we may not be as sold out as we would have liked to be. So how do we do that? How do we go forward? Well, they give another example, or a help, let's say. And what is the help? Is they say that the devotee, he looks at the Vaishnavata. The Vaishnavata means the qualities of the Vaishnava. Because most of us are under the three modes of material nature, therefore we have Vaishnavata and we have the three modes of material nature, our conditioned self. However, this is the point Gurudev is making, is don't get into envy, don't get into jealousy, don't get into, underhanded, shadowy competition. Because when we do that, we then focus on the lower nature. But he's saying, focus on the Vaishnavata, focus on that Vaishnav that's in there. And if you can focus on that Vaishnav that's in there, then you will start to see that Vaishnav and those other qualities. Yes, at some time in managerial situations, there may be time to address it. But in general, in fact, I was reading an offering by Srila Trivikram Maharaj, and he was saying that the only advice Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj gave to Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj when it was decided that he would be the next Acharya before he disappeared. This is from Srila Trivikram Maharaj. He said, I also wrote that down, watch. This is the only advice he gave. Okay, he said, watch, listen, but don't open your mouth. Watch, listen, but don't open your mouth, meaning tolerate. And of course, this is also difficult. But these are the stepping stones in order to create a society. Of course, it's all based upon Harikatha, association with devotees. But what we're discussing here is how, like those three Vaishnavas, how do we continue to honor each other, to encourage each other. And I think this is very much, for me, inspiring to see that it is possible. Because sometimes we think, well, it's not possible, and I'll just go and live alone, or I'll just do my own thing. So that's certainly one way, and that can be sustainable. But the whole idea is that if by creating a society, then each person and the society will be uplifted. So the points I was trying to bring out was that, yes, Gurudev did want a training for this association. He wanted us to purposely build it, not that it may just somehow or other happen. But he's saying here, no, we actually need training where we come together and learn Vaishnava association, how to associate with each other. And ultimately, as we know, Gurudev's probably one of the most common principles and points that Gurudev said, to honor each other. And you can only honor each other when you see the Vaishnavata, whatever, however small it may seem, or however large it may be. But when we honor that side of the devotee, and that's what we saw in Gurudev, everywhere. In other words, there's three kinds of consciousness. There's the consciousness, yes, I've come to spiritual life and I'm interested in spirituality, so my consciousness has been lifted. The second phase is where I'm part of a society and I'm practicing my spirituality. But the higher level is that I see beyond my immediate group and I see all things as connected. So that was Gurudev, the universal teacher of love and affection. And in this way, he showed that with those three Vaishnavas that work together so harmoniously. So, yeah, those are some of my thoughts. And as I was going to the festival today, I saw that in the Armat in Navadvip, there was a big festival going on for Srila Gurudev, Srila Vaman Maharaj, Srila Trivikram Maharaj. And then I went to Devananda Gaudiya Mat, and there was another big festival going on for the same Vaishnavas. So this is, anyway, my offering to Gurudev. When I'm standing in front of his samadhi today, it was again like being there directly with him. And he's always touching our hearts in so many different ways, unexpected ways. And I think for myself, I'm recognizing more and more that to fulfill his desire is a huge quest, is a huge mountain to climb. At the same time, our efforts in that are hugely pleasing to him, even though they may be very insignificant. But what I understand that when the guru at least recognizes that the disciple has some idea of what the guru is trying to teach, or what path to go, then they're pleased. So we're all today, yesterday, and I think tomorrow, glorifying Gurudev and in our own ways, and coming together in this particular way, as he would be so pleased on his final day of his 100th anniversary. So I'll end here and beg the Vaishnavas to please bless me to do the most difficult thing, which is to put into action these words that we speak and serve the Vaishnavas. Dandavats. Panchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
We've all, so you're finishing slightly early, which means I have time to ask some questions of clarification. So you said also if you want to add anything more, but I was wondering, you said the 3 reasons that Srila Gurudeva always got on were always thinking of pleasing Mahaprabhu, not being selfish, and I forgot the second reason.
No politics.
No politics. Okay.
Yes, that's it. Always pleasing Mahaprabhu, and I gave the example of the compass, always in the center, always trying to please Mahaprabhu. In other words, that when Srila Vaman Maharaj saw Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj going to the west, why was he so happy? He was so happy because he is so dedicated in fulfilling the order of his Gurudev, and he saw somebody else doing that. So it wasn't based upon, hold on, I wanted to do that, but it was based upon, yes, you're fulfilling the order of Gurudev, and how wonderful that is. So this actually uproots the envy within our heart. Otherwise, it just stays there. Yeah, that's what Gurudev explained, the principles of how they work together. I thought it was very interesting. I mean, these are very, very deep and difficult. Don't be selfish. No, don't. These are all work in progress. These are all times when we see I'm being selfish. Oh yes, and then we learn to through our intellect. It may not be through realization at this point. Through our intellect, understand. No, I'm being small here. Yeah.
Thank you. And it was, you were describing as well 3 levels of consciousness.
I was explaining that at the beginning, most people may be somewhat unconscious and they start to be aware not to be selfish so much. They start to, simple but important steps. Being kind, being honest. These awarenesses are starting to dawn on that individual. I'm not the center of the universe. If I want to have a relationship, I need to think of others. So that's the beginning. The second level is the level. I mean, these are my ideas and thoughts. There are other ways to approach this. Second level would be come to spirituality. And you kind of get into spirituality. You may even join a society, an organization. And you feel that organization itself is the spiritual path, but you don't see outside of that. I need to convert everybody to this. Not necessarily just that, but there is a limit. There's a limit to how I'm able to see through my heart, because we see through the heart, through love. So my love can go to those people who are like-minded, to that organization, and outside of that, my love doesn't go there. My heart doesn't go there. And on a higher level, I see beyond all these designations. And that is the level, obviously, of the Vaishnava, the Acharya, that he's able to speak to all and include all. And they feel included. That's why when Gurudev would speak, everyone would feel included because that was the nature of his heart. It was at that place. But those who are not on that level, they may have to intellectually or philosophically try to include everybody, which is also like the Madhyam level.
Even my agnostic father felt included by Srila Gurudev.
Yeah.
He said, if I could believe in God, he's the one for me.
Yes, yeah, he's the one. Yeah, exactly.
And he distinguished, because he went through a whole book of Driver Dharma, every guru, and he pointed, he's the one for me, after he'd met Gurudev twice. He loved him. And he didn't believe in God.
And he didn't believe in God, the work that we have, the work on ourselves and the work together to create. We may not be on that stage, but we can practice being on that stage. We can practice. And then through understanding, oh, this is how they see, this is how they act, then through that practice, then mercy comes. And then realization comes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.